Yeah, I'm really happy. I mean, I did not expect to get that podium. I mean, we knew that we had a bit of an advantage with the tyre choices we had. The first part of the race was super positive for the sacrifices we did yesterday. The last part of the race was a little bit less positive, but wasn't too bad. And then the safety car helped us. Basically, Max had no tyres to go on the hard tyre, which put him in a bad situation, and we took advantage of it.
Fighting with the other midfield teams.
Yeah, just didn't have any speed at the end.
And what do you take from this triple header as a whole? How much have you learned about the car?
It's the best race we could have done.
Obviously a great start and good first stint meant that I could set up the rest of the race a bit easier. Getting through all the traffic was really tough, and the dirty air from 3 seconds, 4 seconds back starts to already make a big difference, and I felt like it was difficult to get through that at points, but I feel like when I needed to push and unleash the pace, then I could do a good job. And obviously the safety car at the end, I feel like I managed that pretty well, and then I knew I had the pace, so a good weekend.
I mean, still a good weekend. I lost out to the better guy this weekend. He performed yesterday, and that gave him the advantage today. So nothing more than that. I know where I need to improve. I know what I need to do better. I feel confident that I can do it, but you can't win them all. As much as I want to. It takes time to progress, and that's what I'm working on.
Yeah, I'm really happy. I mean, I did not expect to get that podium. I mean, we knew that we had a bit of an advantage with the tyre choices we had. The first part of the race was super positive for the sacrifices we did yesterday. The last part of the race was a little bit less positive, but wasn't too bad. And then the safety car helped us. Basically, Max had no tyres to go on the hard tyre, which put him in a bad situation, and we took advantage of it.
Look, that's how Max goes racing. As I said, he was in P4, I was in P5, I ended up P4, he ended up P10. So from my side, glad that I managed to finish the race. Not really sure what he was thinking, because he cost himself and his team a lot of points.
Yeah, Lewis, I think he wasn't used soft, and I had still all new because I was out so early yesterday, and it just shows you, what a difference it is, used to new. One lap, takes a lot of energy and life out of the tire. So that was obviously enjoyable, but I think we're not there really fighting with the big boys, but I think we made a big step, in terms of fighting with the other midfield teams.
Yeah, just didn't have any speed at the end.
And what do you take from this triple header as a whole? How much have you learned about the car?
It's the best race we could have done. I really enjoyed it as well, because there was some really good fighting, especially on lap 1 with Fernando and Pierre. Honestly, I had a lot of fun. Overtook a few cars as well. No, that was good. Pace on the medium, I think, was our strength, and we made the most of it. We extended on the soft. Honestly, we played it really well today. It's just a shame at the end that Nico on new tires got us, but he was way too fast for us.
Yeah, it was quite tough out there. I think generally on Sunday we struggle a bit more, so we got to work on tire deg and race pace. But I'm pleased in quali, managed to do a very strong qualifying, and I think it was the key to really stay in that top 10.
Yeah, I'm pleased for the fans as well, that they were very excited at the end. I saw the people standing up and things like that in the last few laps, so happy for them. The race for us was more difficult than anticipated. We were very slow in the straights. All the moves we have to be aggressive in 10-3 on the outside, so not a normal overtaking place, but it's what we had today. So definitely I felt more comfortable on Saturday than on Sunday.
Yeah, I had a big moment there in the last corner. Unfortunately, the hard tires had very low grip, so that was quite painful. But basically we just ran out of tires. I mean, in hindsight, was it better to stay out? Maybe, I don't know. It's always easy to say afterwards, and because of those hard tires, you get into those situations.
George has given his take on the incident. What's your take on that, and also the 10-second
I don't need to
penalty?
say anything about it, because it doesn't matter anyway, and we can't be critical about anything. So,
I mean, from our side, it was a very strong race. We just ended up in the wrong position. We missed the safety car line by half a second.
probably, and so everybody in front of us boxed, and we just got screwed. So it's just to have it that close. After all the work we did in the race, it just sucks.
I think it was a very solid race. I think we did everything we could. You know, we had a decent start. I think the team did a good strategy and everything. It was just that, I think maybe this last safety car was not so much on our side. But it is what it is. I think we had decent pace today. You know, we started on used tires. Soft use maybe was not the best thing to do, but something to review. Because maybe we could gain. We saw that those that started with new soft had a good advantage in the start, in the first 2-3 laps. So yeah, thank you for the team and everyone. You know, very good step ahead we have done this weekend. And not only that, but also Nico, you know, scoring points and everything shows the potential of the car.
Well, safety car didn't help. The timing, probably without, there was potential to score points, but it is what it is, and pretty much same car from FP1. Pace was all right, but it's not pace that what I'm looking at, and obviously we are looking at. So yeah, just didn't improve at all.
The car in clean air, and when the front wing was okay, was fine. Nothing special like when you're coming into a weekend. But we had front wing damage in lap 1. We also had obviously a slow pit stop because of that. We had engine overheating for most of the laps of the race, so nothing really went our way. We were a bit stuck in the middle of nowhere. The little laps that we had in clean air, we had decent pace, but it was too late.
Yeah, it was a tough race. Not what we were expecting. Just really tricky to overtake, and I went out on dirty air after my stop, and I cooked those medium tires, and it just made our race very tricky. But overall a difficult weekend. I think we did a good step yesterday, coming back from Friday. But yeah, today was tricky. We have to go through the data and understand a bit more.
Try to stay obviously on the used tires, you know, on the last safety car. We're going to go at the back of the grid, so it was not really worth it. But yeah, end of a triple header for us. Obviously some positive and a little bit more difficult at times, but thanks for the team for the support that they gave us during this triple. I think it's good now that we are going into a week where we can analyze things and hopefully come back stronger.
Yeah, it was going okay. Unfortunately, we weren't quite able to fight for any points today. But I think we made progress over the weekend, and the car has been feeling a bit better today than it did on Friday and Saturday in long run. So that's positive. Unfortunately, at the safety car, we lost a little bit, which is a shame, but happens.
I had a power unit issue, and it came all of a sudden. I didn't feel it coming. It's a shame, but these are things that can happen. And it was a triple header, a really difficult triple header, one to forget. And now a week to reset and try to come back stronger in Canada.
I don't remember all of it, to be honest. It was a bit of a messy race. We had an issue with the clutch at the start, so we fell back. We then had contact in turn 1, which did damage to the front wing. I think there was a pass in front that had to avoid a crash or a collision or contact, and then with Liam, not really. I think I don't know. I don't think they had that much straight line speed, the RBs, so they were kind of a little bit diving in to try to overtake us, which is fair enough. But I don't think I deserved the penalty. I had to avoid him to not crash because he dived in too late. And then on the second one, I tried to get out of the way. I knew I was going to try around the outside, but I didn't have the tyres really. So that's all it is. Frustrating. Hopefully we'll get it all out the way and get focused for
P3 at the restart there.
Well, I mean, from the moment where I knew that Max was on a hard tyre, I was like, okay, that's not a great tyre to be on for the last 5 laps, especially if there's no saving or whatsoever. So I knew that it was a full attack for me and that there was an opportunity to finish on the podium. Max went with a lot of commitment in the last corner, lost the rear in exit, and then I was basically side by side, and I was very happy to take the 3rd place.
And then you touched on the pit straight. Max was very vocal on the radio saying you drove into him. What's your interpretation of what happened?
I mean, I probably would have been very vocal if it was the other way around as well, because you are fighting for the third place, so you are just trying everything to get that third place back. And I think he knew that on track it would be very difficult with the tyres he was on. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't have any particular feeling about it. There was nothing special. I overtook on the inside. He tried to squeeze me on the dirty side of the track. Then I had the upper hand because I had more speed because of the mistake he had done. And then I was trying to take the slipstream of the McLaren, went a tiny bit to the left. He didn't seem to want to move at all. And we touched a little bit, but there was nothing special.
Final one from me. You've now finished on the podium at Monaco and then here in Barcelona, two very different racetracks. How much confidence do you have in the car now that your ability to finish on the podium going forward?
Today we finished on the podium because we were lucky with the safety car. Otherwise, I think fourth was our position. So I don't think I have much more confidence in order to finish on the podium consistently, but yeah, we are getting there. I guess we start to understand the car, how we can set up it in order to extract the maximum out of it, but still we need to go in quite extreme directions, which is not so nice to drive. So unless we have upgrades very soon, I think it's going to be difficult to be fighting regularly for podiums.
Okay, thank you for that. I'm going to open this to the floor. Can I ask for questions for Charles, first of all? He needs to leave in 5 minutes or so to go to see the stewards. So questions for Charles first, please.
Jack Smith, Motorsport Monday, motorsportweek.com. Charles, you seemed a little bit downcast last week after coming second in Monaco. Do you feel that under the circumstances, this is the podium you scored this season that is the most satisfactory?
Yeah. I mean, it's not like I'm over the moon for a second or third place, but it still feels good because coming to the weekend, I did not expect that. But so didn't I last week as well in Monaco. I think though in Monaco the disappointment was big because in FP1, FP2, FP3 we were very strong. It was not the case here, so we weren't strong in FP1, FP2, FP3 or qualifying. But I knew I had sacrificed quali yesterday in order to be strong in the race today, and it seems to pay off with a little bit of luck as well. Gave us the podium. So on that, it's a good surprise, and I'm very happy about our weekend. But I'm not happy about our overall performance, and on that we need to do a step soon.
Thanks for that. Any more for Charles? Yes, another one.
I actually wanted to ask a question for Oscar and Lando.
Can we just quickly deal with Charles? Any more for Charles? Yeah. We'll come back to Oscar and Lando in a minute. Sorry, thanks for your patience.
Giuseppe Marino, Motori Online. Ciao, Charles. Congratulations. Did you expect a better race pace with medium tires?
No, because the first medium was really good. I think the other medium wasn't great. The last medium wasn't great. I was trying to manage as much as possible because I knew I had to do a bit of a longer stint because all my competitors were going longer on the second stint to have a shorter third stint. So I was just trying to manage those tires. Yeah, so I had to compromise a little bit that last stint, but it's not like I expected to be super quick. I just thought that for our situation, it was the better way to go, and I think today confirms it.
The win of his Formula One career and his fifth of this 2025 campaign, our winner, Oscar Piastri. Oscar, a brilliant victory for you. There was a lot going on throughout that race. Just how difficult was it to manage from the cockpit?
No, use my own. No, it's chocolate flavored. Sorry, we're just discussing deodorant here. Yeah, you can get a better whiff if you want. Your question was managing it from the car. I felt mostly under control. I think, I wasn't really expecting Max to try a 3-stop race, and I wasn't really expecting it to work almost work as well as it did either. So there was a bit going on at that point, definitely. And just with all the traffic and the blue flags as well, that made the race a bit more interesting than I wanted. But apart from a few laps trying to get through the blue flags, I felt pretty much in control and could increase my pace when I needed to. So yeah, it was a really strong race and a strong weekend. I think we did a really good job of managing everything in that race. Sticking to our plan on strategy, not getting distracted by the 3-stop, really good pit stops. I think we just did a good job all around.
You say it's a very strong weekend. Would you say this is your strongest weekend in Formula One to date?
It's definitely up there. I don't know if it's the best one, but certainly it's been a strong one. It's pretty hard to complain with the results we've had this weekend, and I think more so than that, just the effort that's gone in. And analysing some of the things from last week that we could have done better. I think we've turned it around very nicely and got back to the form we wanted to be on, and that's what I'm very satisfied with this weekend, and definitely one of the strongest.
All right, very well done to you. Thank you, Oscar. Lando, let's come to you now. Great race as well. Talk us through the key moments for you.
To finish second? I'm not sure. I mean, obviously I got past Max quite quickly.
Lando, if we take it in chronological order then, talk us through the start. You were 3 wide going into turn 1. How close did that get?
Were we? Yeah? I don't. I don't remember. So I just remember the lights going up pretty quickly, and obviously I was a little bit caught out by that. So and then I just couldn't get the slipstream. Whoa. Down a little bit. I don't like to hear myself. I just couldn't. Oscar didn't give me a slipstream down to turn 1, and well, it was a bit late by then. And then it was hard to commit into the braking of 1, and Max got past. So it was a long race. I think we knew our pace was going to be strong, so I didn't need to do anything too risky into turn 1. But I don't think I lost out the race. I think Oscar drove a very good race today, and had a good day yesterday, and had the pace, to go with him, but not enough to try and catch up and put him under a threat. So,
okay, look, very well done to you. Thank you. And Charles, let's come to you now. Charles, thank you very much. You can leave. You're off to see the stewards. Thank you for that. And let's now open this to any questions for Lando and Oscar, please.
Luke Smith from The Athletic. For both of you, could I get your views on Max Verstappen's move on George Russell towards the end of the race? Lando, I think you called it Mario Kart in the cool-down room. Oscar, and your thoughts as well.
Oscar told me he had some interesting opinions on it, so I'm going to pass straight over to him.
Teammates with you so fun. In all honesty, I don't fully get the context of what happened. It looked a bit strange. Like I thought he was giving the position back and then
give the place back to George because of turn 1.
Okay.
Appeared to give the place back, and then that happened.
Yeah. So I don't really get what happened there. Like I don't know if it was a misunderstanding, whether he didn't brake, or I don't really know. So I think I need a bit more context on what happened, but obviously it was not exactly a small touch, so I don't have that much more, but it obviously didn't look great.
Lando, can we get your thoughts?
That's not what he said earlier, but I don't, similar thing, I don't know what happened. I've not heard what Max has said, and I've not heard what George has said, so I don't think it's something for me to comment on for now.
Thanks both. Any more, please, for either of these two?
Limited Clue from Grand Prix. Question for Oscar and Lando. Are there any tracks left where McLaren won't be as dominant?
I have no idea. I don't know. I think Imola we probably expected to be a bit quicker than we were, and we got beaten. I'm spilling stuff everywhere. So yeah, I don't know. I think this weekend we were probably a bit quicker than we expected compared to Red Bull. I think we thought they would be a really genuine threat this weekend. I think they were with us in the race, but more through strategy, I guess, than pure pace. But it seemed like we had a little bit of an edge over them. So I don't know. There will be other tracks where our competitors get closer. There's probably going to be some where they're further away. I hope there's more where they're further away than closer, but I really don't know.
Lando, please.
No, I mean, I hope not, but the team are doing a very good job. We have a lot of good competition. There was a lot of complaints about our car, and they introduced this TD and changed nothing. The team have done a very good job to just give us a good all-round car and the best car on the grid. So we're very proud to be able to go and drive those cars every weekend. So it's credit to the team that we have to give day in and day out. But like Oscar said, there's still places where we're vulnerable, and especially in the qualifying as it gets very close. Obviously yesterday was the biggest margin of the year, but I think people seem to quickly forget how close the other qualifyings have been. They've been split by hundreds and thousands, and then there hasn't been smooth sailing for us in every single one. So I think that will be the case in future ones. But it's clear we just have the best car on average, and we still seem stronger in the race, although it's clear that the others are catching up. Our gaps in the race were probably a lot bigger in the beginning of the year than they are now. So I do think that our competitors are catching up, but we just need to keep our heads down and keep working hard.
Thanks both. Yeah, next please.
Hi, Maria from Car Magazine Brazil. Question to Lando. Lando, you're quite an advocate when it comes to mental health, and although today was a good day to McLaren, when we have bad days, I know that the critics on you are kind of hard, but I know that your worst enemy, your worst critic is yourself. How do you get your intrusive thoughts to shut up?
Yeah, that's tricky. I mean, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you don't, even when you want to be thinking of all the positives and things like that, But I think you just or what I've learned more to do is turn those thoughts into productive things, turn them into ways to improve, to understand things, and turn them into positive attributes, I guess, rather than letting them bring me down as much. But I think I don't know if it's normal, but I'm sure it's just a lot of people have similar things. Everyone has those great days, everyone has bad days, but I don't need other people to tell me things. I have my own team, my own people around me who tell me when I'm doing good and when I'm not. And that's all I really need. I don't need other people, and I don't need to listen or look at anything else. I only care about those people who are closest to me, who understand me and know me. But also having them around, having a good team around me is probably one of the most important things, because I still have those trickier days. But the main thing is understanding them and learning how to turn them into productive, positive things.
The 2025 Spanish Grand Prix didn't feel explosive on paper. There were absolutely no crashes, red flags or wild weather. Yet it left Ferrari with a lot of complex questions. One driver from the team made the most of a tough weekend, but the other couldn't make sense of the car. In between, McLaren cruised to another dominant 1 and 2, while Red Bull unobtrusively recalculated its options. If the Monaco GP felt like déjà vu, Spain was a reality check for pace, setups and what's next. Charles Leclerc didn't waste time blaming the car. When speaking to the media post-race, he clearly stated that his podium wasn't luck, but the result of timing, tyre calls and clean overtakes. He started 7th, avoided all sorts of problems and passed when a few windows opened up. He called the car tricky but responsive. According to Leclerc, the team made changes overnight that gave him more rear stability. The race swung his way during the safety car window. Ferrari called him in right on cue, fitted the softs, and gained track position when others hesitated. Leclerc held third till the end. In fact, he kept Mercedes behind and stayed close to Norris in Sector 1. The numbers weren't jaw-dropping, nor was he fastest through any part of the lap. However, he didn't lose time at all. Ferrari's Golden Boy also mentioned that the Spanish layout didn't go against Ferrari's biggest weakness, top-end acceleration. Sector 2 has a few mid-speed corners, and they helped Leclerc to upkeep the pace without pushing the tyres too hard. That worked. He now sits fourth in the championship, just behind Piastri, Norris and Verstappen. Speaking of Lewis Hamilton, well, the Briton didn't sugarcoat his afternoon. Post-race, he said it was the worst I've felt in the car all year. He qualified fifth, lost a place off the start, and never looked fierce. His engineer told him to switch driving modes multiple times, but nothing worked. He struggled for traction, especially in turns 5 and 12, where the rear snapped mid-corner. Unlike Leclerc, Hamilton's tyre wear was abnormally high. Ferrari's post-race telemetry showed inconsistent energy recovery on his car, possibly due to brake balance issues. That pushed them into a conservative strategy, which boxed him into traffic after the first round of stops. When asked if the team missed something in setup, Hamilton paused and said, "We missed the whole thing." He didn't go into detail, but the silence said a lot. Internally, Ferrari admitted they split setups between drivers. While Leclerc went balanced, Hamilton went aggressive on front rotation. The Scuderian team boss Fred Vasseur was candid in the press conference. He said the team didn't make mistakes, but they weren't brilliant either. That's been the theme of Ferrari's season. In Spain, the car looked decent. Not great, just decent. The floor upgrades added rear downforce but increased tyre stress. That's manageable on one car. With Hamilton, it's spiralled. The team hasn't yet figured out how to give both drivers a consistent balance across all sessions. Meanwhile, McLaren won, and the team dictated the entire race rhythm. Piastri and Norris didn't defend or push. Practically, they simply ran their plan and stayed clean. Ferrari, on the other hand, had to adapt, once again. Vasseur hinted that more upgrades were coming before Canada, but expectations are already low. Most teams are moving their focus to 2026 chassis concepts, and Ferrari might soon do the same, unless things change unexpectedly in the next 2 rounds. Right now, Ferrari is the third best team on paper. They're ahead of Aston Martin and behind McLaren. Besides, they're slightly better than Red Bull in long-run stints, but not on raw pace. That gap isn't huge indeed, but honestly, it's frustrating. Leclerc has finished top 4 in 5 of the last 6 races. Hamilton, however, is still looking for rhythm. He's spoken privately about needing more simulator time before Canada. He also wants to recalibrate with Leclerc's data to understand where his own laps fall short. It's early to talk about team orders or lead driver status, but internally, the team knows the points gap is growing. And in a season where each race has delivered fewer retirements and more consistency up front, making up that ground is harder indeed. In Spain, Ferrari didn't lose the weekend, but they didn't win anything back either. Leclerc continues to extract results without the fastest car. Hamilton, on the other hand, is still searching for one smooth race. If McLaren keeps this up, Ferrari has to respond with some stunning on-track action. So what's the next move? Is it time to prioritise Leclerc's setup direction? Should Ferrari push harder in qualifying or start splitting strategies more aggressively? Let us know in the comments, and if you want exciting F1 breakdowns that go beyond the headlines, hit subscribe and stay tuned.